Welcome back to part 4 of the Waldorf head formation series. And when we last left off, we actually just did the eye line, defined the eye line with the craft string as well as the cheeks, and moved the string back here to the back of the neck so you can have some sort of a skull secured the strings. So you can do that. This is actually a different head than the original one, which is right here. You can see it. That's the original one from the first previous videos. But see, what had happened was while I was editing, I neglected to save the original part 4. So I had to redo an entire head so I can show you this part of the series. So for this one, I actually used the stockinette with the little knot. So you can see the little knot up there that I showed you guys earlier, and you can see the difference between the knot and when you do a running stitch instead. See, it's nice and flat, and you have that little knot there for the knotted technique. So if you don't mind that little knot being there, then go ahead and knot away. So yeah, right now we have eye line, cheeks a little defined, still looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. So right now what we're gonna do in this part is add the nose and figure out what to do with this muffle tuft, okay? So to start doing the nose, you're going to need your air water soluble marker, a little scrap of your doll skin, craft thread, craft string, hand sewing needle, and if you want, if you have it available to you, just some old worsted yarn. That's what I'm using. This is that sugar and cream from that I showed you earlier. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your air soluble marker and you're just gonna draw a little circle for the nose. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, just get it as close to a circle as possible. You can see I did mine there. See, it's not perfect. Okay, you're gonna take around 20 to 30 inches of craft string and thread your needle. If I can see a little hole, if I can get it in the little hole. Come on. Okay, there we go. And what you're gonna do, you're not gonna knot it or anything. You don't have to knot it. And what you're gonna do is basically you're gonna do a little running stitch all along the circle, just like we did, or like I showed you to do along the stockette for the top. Try and make sure the stitches are around 1/4 of an inch or less apart. No big gaps, no trying to cheat. So I just go in, out, pull a little bit. Now you could have actually cut out the circle before you did this, but, and it really doesn't matter if that works for you, but I don't for some reason. I usually do the running stitch along there and then cut around it when I'm done, which you'll see. And I am just stitching along that little circle, the sad little circle I drew. In and out, all along the circle, all along that line. Like so. All the way till you get right back to where you started. I can do one more stitch there. Okay. And there you have it. It's all stitched and ready. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off the excess without cutting the thread. About 1/8 of an inch away. Like So what you do after that is you get a little piece of yarn. I'm not going to use this whole thing. That's really, it just depends on the size of a nose that you want. So I just break off a little piece, roll it into a little pea size, throw it in there, pull the strings to gather them up like so. I don't take the needle out, I just leave it in. That's why I make it so long so it doesn't fall off, because I'm actually going to use the same thread to attach it to my headpiece, which you'll see in a minute. But as you know, I'm knotting and I'm doing it 4 times first. Okay, let's put that aside. Now I'm gonna get some quilting pens, see, glass head or glass bead, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to mark where I think my eyes are going to be, which will help me very much in nose placement. So you just put it where you think the eyes look best. It really does look like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, doesn't it? I will call you Leonardo. Yeah, that's good. And somewhere in there, about an inch down or so, I like to, from the eye line, I like to put my nose. See, that's perfect. I'm gonna bring back my little nose here. Okay. Take a pen, put it smack dab through the middle, and pin it to my head so it'll stay. See? Now it looks like Rudolph. Rudolph the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Alright, so now I'm about to take my hand sewing needle that's still attached to the thread, as you can see, and I'm going to sew and attach the nose to the skin. What I do is I go in a I want to say a clock motion, but I really think of cutting pizza every time I do this, like when you cut pizza into eighths. So I will, let's see if I can catch this, come from the bottom here, push through, try and catch the wool underneath, and come through the other side. So 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock. See, I pushed it through, and then I pushed it through the actual bottom down there and pushed it down a bit so I can catch some of the fabric, and now it's coming out the other side, 12 o'clock. Now I'm just going to go around and do the same exact thing. At 11 o'clock, go on 4 or 5. See, I told you, I don't think of clocks when I do this. I think of pizza. Keep that out of the way, because you're going to don't clip this, the little one, because you're going to use that to tie it off. So I just go around, up, up, down, cross, cross, like you're making a little asterisk. Just keep going. I'm just full of comparisons and analogies today, just for you guys. And as you're doing this, push through the skin, catch the wool underneath, come out the other side, then pick a different angle to go in. And keep doing this as many times as you need to feel that it is securely on there and it won't move. And as I'm doing this, I'm also pulling it taut. Alright, I need to go on this side because it's not looking as round. There we go. come in through here. Like so. There we go. That's much, much better. It's not too big, not too small. Because when the skin goes on, it's going to get compressed quite a bit. Where should I go in next? I guess the top to the bottom. There's a little extra something something. Top the bottom. And then we can tie this off. That's good. So a little button nose. It's not too big, not too tiny. So now I'm just going to take it and knot it. 3, 4, and clip off the excess string. There you go. Now we have a little nose. We can take these guys out. We'll bring them back after we add on the skin and when I get ready to show you guys how to do the face. But yeah, oh, it's a little cute little heart shape. That's adorable. All right, next up is showing you what to do about this muff. Now, usually with my Waldorf dolls, with my personal patterns, I just stuff this all in, like to the stockette as close as possible. Pull that taut and do a little running stitch with my needle and craft string and pull it taut, so then it will look like this. But this pattern does not call for that. This one has a long stem neck like this one. So this, you can either use craft string depending on how thick and sturdy your craft string is. You can use craft string. I'm going to use some worsted weight yarn. And basically all you're going to do is just wrap it around this entire thing. So you get your yarn and wrap it from top to bottom as tight as you can get it. And this may take, you're not going to get this like in the first go. So go down if you need to, go back up, just keep going until it's wrapped as tight and compacted as you can get it, honey. That is all you got to do. This is really difficult for me to do with my right hand because I'm a lefty, but I'm gonna Tim gun it and make it work, honey. Get out of my way there, you. Now, to be honest with you, I have never actually made a doll with this kind of neck before. Actually, I've not used majority of the techniques that she uses in this pattern with my personal dolls before. So not only is this a learning experience for you, it's a learning experience for me as well with working with this new pattern. The basic techniques are there, but I've never made this pattern before, so we're learning together. When I say this is a sew along, this really is a sew along, honey. All I can do is put my own personal spin on how she does things in her pattern. Okay, so when you get to a point where you're satisfied with how it looks, it's like a, looks like a sage stick. You knot it. 3, 4. You don't have to knot it 4 times like I do. Like as I mentioned earlier, it's a personal tick. All right, there's some excess. This is actually going to probably be a bit too long, but if you have extra, just cut it off and try not to cut the yarn like I just did, but that's fine because I still feel like this is too long anyway. So I'm gonna unwrap it a bit and cut off that much. There we go. That looks a little bit more reasonable, yes? And not that part that I just cut. Okay. do that 3 times or 4 times? Not sure. Okay, we'll just do it 1 extra just in case. All right, so there we are. We have our little bitty head is ready for our doll skin. It has this little nose, it has this little neck, and next up, we're adding the skin. Yay! See you in part 5.